Hello, and welcome to The Gardens, located in sunny... The Gardens is one of the largest combined zoological habitat and theme parks in the world. With over 72 thrilling attractions and nearly 11,000 animals in our care, we know that every member of your family will find something incredible each time you visit. But that's just the start of your adventure. To really see what the park has to offer, I'll turn you over to our top 2 guides. Take it away, boys!
Welcome to Thoughtspeak, a weekly podcast dedicated to the discussion and review of K. Applegate's 1996 book series, Animorphs. Today we're talking about Megamorphs number 2, so it's a very special episode.
Very special. Megamorphs number 2 in the time of dinosaurs.
Nice pronunciation of the title. When I was originally making the artwork, I said in the time of the dinosaurs, and I was...
You did.
Just looked very foolish.
You're such a fool. Everyone knows there's only one thought.
Anyway, making this special episode even more special, we're joined by a guest host, a co-host who is a guest.
A co-guest host.
A co-guest host.
3,000.
And she is...
She is Liz. Say hi, Liz.
Hi, I'm Liz.
There she is. All right. Can we, very, very quickly here, tell us what is a Liz? What does a Liz do? And how did Liz come to find Animorphs? Go.
A Liz is a native Texan girl that happened to be swept off her feet by someone she thought was normal and turned out to be kind of nerdy, and eventually found out that he was into Animorphs and listened to his podcast because she was slightly desperate, but not really. And then she also really likes dinosaurs, so that is how she came to be here. They were like, hey, you listen to a podcast that we do, and you like dinosaurs, so here's a book about Animorph dinosaurs.
Do you want to elaborate, Coleman?
Yeah, I just... In my mind, you know, I've been watching her go
creepy.
from...
I've
been watching her go from not understanding why we would want to make a podcast on a young adult, barely even young adult, you know, book series about that, you know, most of us read when we were in middle school, to actually listening to the podcast and finding out who the characters were without actually reading a book, and then listening to all the podcasts that we had put out. And so I figured, you know, as sexy as Nate was, you know, we really needed that woman demographic.
Feminine touch.
Yeah.
If everyone
he brought a little bit of that.
Beard, they would have fallen in love. Even harder.
They would have.
I don't know, you can't see my beard.
It's true, it's incredible.
That might be a good thing.
But...
I would be lying if I said when I started reading it, I didn't kind of feel like I was finally getting to hang out with the cool kids. Like, I heard so much about all these people, and I never really experienced it, and then I was like, oh, okay, now I get to be there myself. And then I judged myself, because I was on a plane.
Honestly, just throughout the episodes and then actually reading a book, I think she's developed a little bit of a crush on Jake.
What?
And that's why she wanted to get on the podcast, so that she could just be a little closer to his world.
Wow, you're going to have to fight Cassie for him.
Weird.
And she's got a T-Rex morph, so watch out.
Not really. But I think the only thing I want to say is that what interested me most about having her on the podcast, other than just I'm madly in love with her and, you know, just want to do things with her. I wanted, you know, Nate was, you know, he's already like a geeky sci-fi guy. And so, you know, it wasn't too much of a stretch to have him on.
No, he was the target audience for Animorphs, I would say.
Yeah, and so what interests me most is having someone who very well could just not like the book. And that's fine. I just want to have as many people on the show that aren't blinded by nostalgia. Because that's why we started the show. We wanted to see as two perfectly somewhat normal adults with jobs and lives.
100% normal.
100% normal, could reread this series that was made for kids and see if it holds up at all, or if we could get anything out of it. So I think the next step in that is having people on who almost don't even care about the series.
Oh, yeah, then next we're going to get Mark, who will flat out just hate it and tell us how stupid it is, and probably get up and leave during halfway through the podcast.
But yeah, so Liz, that's my hope, is that you don't hold back. You tell us your real feelings, because that's what I want to hear.
Okay.
Don't look into my, 1,000-yard amazing blue eyes.
They are amazing.
That's not the phrase.
Blue eyes? What does that mean?
There's some phrase. I don't know. Don't.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I'll agree with him.
Passes?
Don't be blinded by your insatiable love for me.
That's better.
And talk about how good the book is
Done.
if you don't feel that.
All right, without further ado, we should have our guest of honor read the back of the book.
Oh, right.
Oh wait, so we're going to jump into the review?
Yeah, you ready for it? Or?
We're ready.
This section of the park houses one of the most extensive research libraries devoted to animal biology on the West Coast. Your guides will provide a thorough summary of any book that might catch your eye. Careful though, once you get them started, they'll never want to stop.
As we said, today we are discussing and reviewing Megamorphs number 2, In the Time of Dinosaurs. And the back of the book is going to be read by Liz.
Guest of honor gets the honor.
We could blame everything that happened on Marco. He was the one who heard about the downed submarine. He was the one who thought we should check it out. And everyone knows that if Marco's up to a challenge, I'm definitely there. Everything was going fine. Until the explosion. An explosion that blows us millions of years back in time. Back to the age of dinosaurs. Now Tobias, Cassie, Marco, Axe, Jake, and I are fighting for our lives with every step we take. But that's not our biggest problem. Our biggest problem is we have no idea how to get back to our own time. ...
4 ellipses. They did it again.
You know what? That was great because I was able to imagine it being read as Rachel.
Why?
Know, I can do that anytime you want. Just let me know. I'll do voiceovers for you if you need
should.
a girl.
Every time we have a Cassie or Rachel book.
Yep.
Honey, I don't know if you've heard, but there is an Animorphs audiobook project that's trying to cast characters.
Wouldn't that just be a twist of irony? I get a job from this.
Why is the back of the book being read? Have they had any other books being read by a specific character who wasn't on like the front cover?
No, I think the other Megamorphs book was narrated by a specific character as well. Yeah, usually the back of the books are not from first-person view. Right.
I'm just going with that theme.
Yeah. Yeah.
The actual book cover itself, which one did you get?
Because there's so many of these things, apparently.
There's 5.
There's 5 different covers. They're all just slightly different colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got like an orangey, purpley, kind of ugly, terrible thing.
That's the one Liz got as well.
Oh, okay.
Mine's
the one with Marco on the inner flap, right?
Well, no, hers. I think hers is like a second run or something. 'Cause she has all the different ones you could have, like in a 6-panel kind of weird, badly photoshopped thing.
Really? That's kind of cool. I wish I had that one, to be honest with you. I'm envious of your book, Liz.
Yeah. Okay, here comes my first negative review. I was disappointed that it's a book about dinosaurs and there's no dinosaurs on the cover.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Man, they could have
got the word dinosaurs right there on the front.
Cooler with this cover.
But I mean, why don't we have them, like, morphing a dinosaur? Like, every other book, I assume, has a morph on the cover. This is just like a weird mishmash of some eyes and animal patterns.
I can't believe they missed out on the opportunity to have someone morphing into a T-Rex on the cover.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's what would have sold more. I mean, I know the Megamorphs, they try to go more artsy with the front covers, but like this could have been a generic front cover for, I don't know, like the first book in the series or Megamorphs number 1. It's just them with different animal patterns.
Yeah, it's just boring, really.
Mm-hmm.
Which one did you get?
I just got the straight orange one. It doesn't have any purple. It's not even that different. But I know there's a green one and a blue one, and there's one that's like almost black and white, like barely has any color. I don't know if that was a special edition or if they just got bored at the printing press.
They ran out of ink in the machine later.
Yeah.
We're just witnessing the dying of their printer.
Or maybe the marketing team just didn't know what dinosaurs looked like. Maybe that's just another failing of them, that they didn't take like third grade science.
Maybe they were young Earth creationists.
At the very least, they could have put like lizard skin somewhere.
Anything. Yeah.
A palm tree, something. But we've pretty much already proven at this point that the marketing team doesn't read the books. So
I don't even know if they knew they were working on books. That's what I'm wondering at this point. Like, maybe they thought it was like a TV series, or...
This is some new internet video game?
Yeah, 95.
It could have been. Who knows? Yeah, so you guys want to dive into the book? This book, I think, has one of the quickest, like, we don't care about plot, let's just get to the meat of this thing. Because it's all about, the setup happens in about a chapter and a half, maybe, of Marco watching the news with his dad. He hears about this downed submarine that's in some trouble. I don't remember what the trouble with it was. Do you?
It was downed?
They lost it.
Okay.
They
Periscope
couldn't find
down.
it.
McHale's Navy wasn't operating at maximum capacity. So the team, of course, has to go check it out because they think they can help in their dolphin morphs. And they swim with some scuba divers, blah, blah, blah. There's an explosion that sends them back in time. I think it's not a spoiler to say it's the time of the dinosaurs.
Of dinosaurs. I did think it was weird that, I don't know, it's almost like if they're trying to make these Megamorphs books more like movies, it's almost like it was like an inside joke that they're like, we're going to do as little exposition as possible. It's like a Michael Bay movie. We're just going to jump right into the plot and hit you over the head with it, and boom, there's action.
Well, there's no Yerks in this book, and I don't know.
You can't prove that.
I don't know if that... well, good point, I guess. But I don't know if that helps it or hurts it, to be honest.
Well, it was cool that, the whole books are all about Kay Applegate's, wanting to write about nature, and especially through Cassie, like her kind of just, very hippie, over the top, just wanting to, get closer to nature and talk about it and get that into kids' minds and conservation and all that. So it's cool that, so it's cool that, that nature is the antagonist in this book.
Oh, yeah.
Survival, kids trying to just be in a wild, environment.
Well said. Not too sure how this atomic bomb explosion creating a Sario rip makes any sense, but that's what happens.
Well, they create Sario rips because they trip. Those things show up in every other book.
I know, and especially since we just read about the Sario rips.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So they do this whole. It's funny that the book's called In the Time of Dinosaurs, and most of the people who bought this, if they weren't already Animorphs fans, they bought it because it was a dinosaur book. So it's funny that they try to do like this whole tease of like, is that a volcano in the background? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, they spend some time questioning. I mean, well, realistically, why would they think they've gone back in time that far?
They should have read the cover.
I guess they didn't get to it, but they quickly discover that they are not in their own time period when they get chased by some water dinosaurs. Do you remember what they were called?
No.
You're the dinosaur guy.
When I was reading it, I thought it was going to bring up one of my favorite dinosaurs, the plesiosaur, because they were long-necked, swimming dinosaurs. I thought we were going to see Nessie or something swimming up, but I think it starts with an E. It's like Eramosaur or Eramosaur. I'm not sure.
Aragonosaurus, I think. Yeah.
And then there's another like mosasaur type creature that comes up that the two long-necked water dinosaurs are terrified of, that immediately eats Rachel and Tobias.
Yeah,
for fun.
Tobias and Rachel get eaten, and because they had to have those two separated from the group early on. while everybody else manages to swim away and make their way to land and demorph, and they're safe and sound.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty terrifying as a kid, though. Just the graphic detail of, like, the gullet stones, rubbing up against them, and how it's just complete blackness, and they're just being digested.
Yeah, it's one of the first experiences I could think about reading about characters being in some giant creature's stomachs.
Yeah, so pretty cool.
Elasmosaurus.
What was it?
Elasmosauruses. Oh, that was the long-necked one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's what we need to know. I was wrong.
There you go. It's not the one that ate them, but it's the one that was, like, chasing them when they ate it.
Okay. New job, Liz. We need you to just sit in on every podcast and then look things up in the book.
I'll be your, paralegal.
Yeah, fact checker.
Okay.
The Mosasaur one is a Chronosaurus.
There you go, yeah.
We need you to take minutes for these podcasts.
Yeah, okay, Mitch. I'll get right on that.
Now, Liz, you've been listening to these podcasts, and you're meeting these characters for the first time. Are they anything like you thought from us describing them?
Kind of. I mean, I feel like they were a little bit more epitomized. Like, you guys made them sound kind of normal, but Marco was, like, a little bit overly funny. Mm-hmm. And Rachel was a little bit overly
crazy.
Badass. Like, Cassie was a little bit overly emotional to where I kind of thought they were a little bit more just a normal group of kids.
Yeah, right. You are exactly right about that. And this book is...
I'm right about everything, Mitch.
I know. I just want to point it out.
Well, I think also coming on a Megamorphs book is weird because everything's exaggerated. Like, it's more...
Yeah.
They write those characters more to their tropes because they're going for that blockbuster feel. Whereas a book like, we're about to do 19 with Cassie in the woods with a Yerk child, she's not her trope. She's very much the opposite. We see a new side of Cassie. They go into the normal books more into the heads of the people and make them more fleshed out.
One thing that I did think was interesting about my perceptions of the characters was the voices I gave them in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd kind of heard you guys talking about how Jake was played by the guy who was in the Iceman and X-Men.
Yeah.
So I could, hear his voice. Apparently, my brain interprets Axe to sound like Kevin Spacey Machine in Moon.
Oh.
That's what his voice was to me. That's what I heard.
A robot? Awesome. That's pretty dead on.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey's voice is great for just anything.
You didn't realize Cassie was black too, right?
That is correct. I did not realize that until the little animated pictures on the top of the chapter that said Cassie, and I said, what?
Oh, I could have swore we mentioned that at one point.
I think we mentioned in the first episode, that Kay Applegate made an interracial couple.
Here's the clarification. I listen to the podcast while I do other stuff. So there's times that I, really catch stuff, and then there's times that, it's, background noise, not to be rude.
No, that's how we...
No, that's what it's like when I'm editing it.
Okay, yeah.
That's what it's like when I listen to another podcast. I listen to it while I work.
You guys totally could have brought it up, and I just...
Look, okay, we're going to take a break. Liz is going to go back and really listen to the other episodes. She's prepared for the episode.
I'll come back for, the next Megamorph episode, having read all of the series up to it, and see how that changes things.
It's a good book.
Ooh, I was going to say, that'll be a good one, actually.
If it's not dinosaurs, I don't care.
No.
Time travel?
Some serious stuff.
Anyway.
Plot-wise, we are at the point where the groups are splitting up, and Tobias and Rachel are eaten at this point, and everybody else is on land running from a T-Rex, because that's the first thing they run into when they get on the land.
Yeah, they get into the T-Rex pretty quick. They didn't try to build it up or anything.
No, because they want to milk the T-Rex subplot.
That's what the kids are here to see.
We don't want to literally milk the T-Rex.
This is a book I want to read.
So anyway, Tobias and Rachel do manage to undigest themselves and escape their water dinosaur confinement.
Their watery graves.
Ooh.
A water graveosaurus.
We did also have a nice little scene of, even though this constantly happens in the rest of the series, they assumed Rachel and Tobias were dead, and they had a little breakdown and grieving, but they couldn't do that long because of said T-Rex who showed up.
Right, yeah. But then we get to see, Rachel mending Tobias's broken wing, and a little discussion on how the morphing technology works.
Or in this case, isn't working.
Yeah, exactly.
Which that's most people's biggest problem with these books, is that they throw out most of the rules. That morphine doesn't heal you because it's convenient to this plot, this specific plot. They don't get to keep their dinosaur morphs at the end because, they don't want them fighting Yeerks with T-Rexes in the next book.
No, and I honestly don't think, Cassie could do it again after this book.
Oh, yeah.
That, and it just, it would be a way, way overpowered morph.
A little bit. But anyway, so while everyone else is running from the T-Rex, Axe flat out kills it.
Yeah,
so
I know.
That's pretty crazy.
Axe has gotten a T-Rex kill under his belt. That is pretty impressive.
And I like that he's
ready to fight Visor 3, okay?
I like that they're all congratulating and trying to pat him on the back for it. He's like, no, this is not, I can't do this. This was a fluke.
Yeah.
It was turned the right way.
Nice
like, he acted scared
of
what he just did.
That was good writing on their part.
Yeah, then they go all Bear Grylls and start making sandals.
They craft some items out of their downed enemy. Typical RPG stuff.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think of this cutting back between Tobias and Rachel? And like, is it trying to do too much of like the Star Wars plot where you got something happening in one area and coming back to the main people?
It makes sense because they always try to split up these bigger stories into separate subplots and such. I mean, think about our last Megamorphs book. Man, they had time to work in an entire amnesia subplot.
Well, you had to have the amnesia subplot.
You're lucky you missed the amnesia subplot.
Rachel should have gotten her amnesia back, and then Tobias should have had amnesia from his broken wing somehow. And then, they had to deal with meeting each other the first time. And possibly falling in love all over again.
Wow, yeah. There's an original plot. So let's see. Plot-wise, we've got some more of Tobias and Rachel wandering through the forest, and of course they got to encounter, their next group of dinosaurs.
Spinosauruses.
Okay, there you go.
And Triceratops.
That's what they find. And, encountering dinosaurs in the woods, your chances are not very good of getting out of there alive, right?
They don't meet a Spinosaurus and a Triceratops. That's when they meet the ones that are attacking Rachel, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Like
they do meet Triceratopses. They don't meet the Spinosaurus until later, though.
Yeah.
They come across a herd of Triceratops, and then they notice that the is it Deinonychus?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Velociraptors in Jurassic Park were supposed to be.
Right.
They meet those coming at the Triceratops, and they hatch a plan because they see that they're kind of in between the raptors and the Triceratops. So, they get to morphing them right after Rachel starts a fight with the pack.
Yeah. I'd like to point out that at the very end of the story, it's page 229 in my book, there's a note from Tobias, and he goes on and points out the dinosaurs that they encountered. He said them up.
I don't think it's 229 in ours.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, it is. Never mind.
Yeah, 229. There's the whole list of dinosaurs.
I've been looking it up, flipping through the pages trying to find these dinosaur names.
They have it all in the back.
Well, yeah, the note in the back.
But I thought the whole Tobias losing himself in a morph is good because he has the least experience in morphing in general.
Yeah, that's right. We still need to see Tobias lose himself quite a bit. And, this book definitely made me like Tobias a lot more. Just getting in his head, him actually being the intelligent one, it worked, We got to see Tobias be cool.
But yeah, it was nice seeing Tobias in that frame, and also just the whole, it goes back to why she wrote the books in general. She wants to show animals and their instincts and how they're just basically teach like a Discovery Channel show about different animals and their their cultures and how they relate to each other. So here we get a nice little raptor pack lecture on how their alpha males work.
Right, and if this series was to ever be rebooted in some way, shape, or form, and this story was to be updated, I think there'd be a lot changed with the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they go into the whole feathered approach and go more into the evolution with birds and everything.
Oh, well,
that's
that
the modern. Cool. That's the modern focus of paleontology.
So because they're cutting back and forth so much, we get back to the other team who are, just on land. They're just waking up. They point out there's a comet in the sky. And honestly, who didn't see that coming, right?
I didn't. First time I read this, I thought, obviously when they said comet, I was like, that puts a timer on the book. I thought it was just going to hit. So it's kind of a surprise later when you find out that it's not heading towards Earth, and then in the back of your mind, you're like, so what's about to change? Because they don't put this comet in here for no reason. It's obviously a plot device. Well,
while they're sitting around admiring it, they get ambushed by yet another T-Rex. This book is not scrimped on the T-Rex.
Yeah, and if Kay Applegate and Michael Grant would have done a little bit of research, they'd know that a T-Rex's territory was, 200 miles. So there wouldn't be a bunch of T-Rexes hanging out together.
Wow, that's some territory.
Mm-hmm. They went all day long, just moving like orca whales or something.
What a terrible animal. The next couple chapters is Rachel fighting some dinosaurs while Tobias eventually shows up in Morph and kind of unintentionally saves her.
Yeah, this is the Spinosaurus, which, this is where the Spinosaurus show up, which I think as a kid I read this, that the Spinosauruses came down from the trees. So that's something on this reread I didn't notice, or it kind of hit me, that they're just seeing the heads of the Spinosauruses over the trees. So I always thought that this book differed from Jurassic Park 3, where the Spinosaurus was this huge creature. But no, they play that up in this book too.
Oh.
So that was new on this reread.
Didn't even catch on to that, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're behind the trees, their heads are rising up above it. So, because they're, Tobias and Rachel do that whole thing where they sleep in a tree that night, and they Tobias is musing over the fact that they're the first humans to, sleep in trees, and that's what Marco's doing this entire book, is talking about how they're the first humans to make sandals and the first humans to make fire, and
yep, a lot of that stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
But the team manages to take down the T-Rex again, and this is the point when they all wisen up and think, maybe we should acquire this thing while we can. And during this bit of action, they see some weird-looking flashes of lights that they know are unnatural and decide to follow it.
Where they find a city in the time of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, an alien civilization on prehistoric Earth.
It's weird that they took this route. I mean, I get why they did, because they wanted to build up the whole comet thing, but I think I could have been interested by an entire book of Animorphs just running from dinosaurs. It's strange that they are like, man, this book's alright, but we're really losing our alien crowd.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they thought it wasn't sci-fi enough with all the time travel and Sario rips and Animorphin.
Subtlety has never been Applegate's,
I think
main focus.
I think it was to avoid it being just they go back in time and then they get back to their own time. I think it was to have them actually do something.
Yeah, no, I understand, and it makes sense, and it's not a bad subplot. It's interesting. It's just like, most kids were into this because of the dinosaurs. It's like, okay, crab people, why not?
That's right, because they end up finding the alien city. Well, they don't find out now, but they're called the Mercora. We've got Tobias and Rachel fighting some more dinosaurs. They're still engaged in their own battle with their Dinomorphs. And they happen to run into their own alien, which is called, it calls itself the Nesk. And this one can talk.
And before that, I'd just like to say that this is the point where they see the Spinosauruses, and before had been the point where they do the whole pack alpha male, release.
This is what I get for depending on you with the dinosaurs.
Well, when you just write dinosaur in the summary over and over again, it gets a little confusing. There's a lot of dinosaurs in this book.
I thought you were a dinosaur nerd. I thought you had all of these memorized.
I know the dinosaurs. I'm just saying.
He doesn't have them memorized in chronological order of appearance in the book.
Exactly.
The one thing that can help us.
If you even said, like, the small, sharp-toothed dinosaur, like anything would have helped.
Sharp-tooth? Are we in the land before time?
No. My notes specify that they encountered dinosaurs, and that is it.
Then they met a Littlefoot, and they met a Triceratops named Sarah.
And Ducky.
And then there was Ducky and Petrie.
I think I can hear Petrie's voice in my head more than any other childhood voice actor.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, they meet the Nesk, bunch of ants, which ironic since that's like their number one enemy in the normal series as well.
Well, yeah, I think Applegate and Grant were thinking, okay, we got to make the bad guys something that is instantly hateable. What do we got here? Oh yeah, ants.
Yeah, they've been building up the entire series to this point, making us hate ants and termites.
Prehistoric ant aliens. That's as bad as it gets, people.
I love just looking through your summary. I've been taking note of this. This is like the 4th or 5th instance of you writing Rachel attacks.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she does attack quite a bit.
She does, but yeah, that's how they found out it's ants. Because which that's weird. So they're made up of ants, but it's not 100% recognizable just from looking at them.
No, because they're like regular small ants. So they're very small. It just looks like, I imagine, like a lava person might.
Yeah, like really interesting textured, but why would that be questionable? Because it's an alien.
Yeah, that's true. They are already dealing with a lot.
And it does say it makes it like look like a face too.
Yeah.
It probably looked
I don't
like
get why they would do that. Why wouldn't they make a giant ant? Why make a weird Nesk alien?
Yeah, it probably looked like a bad costume off of like the original Star Trek series or something.
It's just like one of those Green Man suits covered in those fake plastic ants.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah.
So yeah, the villains from this book aren't very fleshed out.
Yeah.
That's a pun.
Did you mean to make that pun?
Not even, but then I always speak what I mean.
Okay, sorry.
It was a good one. It made Liz laugh out loud.
So, let's see. They're meeting ants. Everybody else are birds, and they're meeting crabs.
Only in Animorphs.
Yeah, only in Animorphs. Does that sentence make sense? They're flying around above the crab civilization. They get attacked by flying dinosaurs.
See, this is what.
I specified here.
Flying dinosaur.
Whoa. You're right. You did specify here, and you're 100% wrong because they're being attacked by pterosaurs, which aren't dinosaurs. Pteranodons and pterosaurs were pterosaurs, which is a completely different gene pool than dinosaurs.
Hey, it made sense in my notes.
It did.
Tobias doesn't even list them in his page 229 notes.
Yeah. Tobias was asleep that day when he was picking out dinosaur toys.
Well, no, but he wasn't really a part of being attacked. I mean,
he grabbed one.
Because he and Rachel end up jumping or falling off the cliff and falling immediately into all of the action. So this is where the characters finally meet up again. Yeah,
and it's funny because I think the chapter ended with Cassie looking up, and there was like a dinosaur holding on to the pteranodon and flying past her or something.
Oh, no, the chapter ended with Tobias's best line where he looks up and sees the flying dinosaurs. And he says, "I used to play with you."
But doesn't list them in his notes, so it's not very helpful to us, Tobias.
That's because he already knew it. He ID'd it. The Tobias Pokédex went off as soon as he saw it.
Okay. So I want to take a moment real quick and be like, okay, so we've got ant dinosaurs, not ant dinosaurs, we've got ant aliens, we've got crab people who Marco keeps trying to cook and eat. We've got force field cities, we got dinosaurs, we got time travel, and then we got the Animorphs.
And atomic bombs.
So I want to take a moment and be like, Liz, where are you at in this book right now? What's your general feeling?
It's asking you to accept the lot.
Well, I think what's interesting is I read this about a month ago.
Shh. Don't worry.
Sorry.
We all did.
I was pre-reading in preparation. But so it's weird, like, looking back and trying to remember what my initial thoughts were. Because right now I'm trying to look back and, like, remember the scenes in my head, and it's just a mashup of, like, the Land Before Time dinosaurs, the We're Back dinosaurs, Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob, and, like, just these really weird images in my head of what I remember these scenes being like, but I don't think I remember them that way.
I'm sure talking with us helps.
Yes, so much. One thing I do remember thinking when I read this is I was surprised by how long it took everyone to think, oh, we should try and acquire a dinosaur to morph. I mean, if I got blown back in time and there's dinosaurs and I know I can morph, the first thing in my head is I'm going to morph a mother effing dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm going to be a dinosaur, and I would go and hunt out the coolest ones. I'd be like, I don't want you, I want to be a Stegosaurus.
So in this Liz Before Time scenario, you're not even worried about getting back. You're just, I'm going to go get a Brachiosaurus.
I'm going to be a bird, and I'm going to find a dinosaur, and I'm going to jump on it and stick my claws in it and acquire it, and then I'm going to let go, and then I'm going to go find another dinosaur.
Well, honey, you can't acquire more.
Oh, yeah, you can't acquire in morph.
Well, I'm going to, like, knock it out or something, because don't they put it to sleep?
Well, yeah, they kill a couple.
Yeah.
No, like, don't they, like, go into a lull?
Yeah, they put them to sleep permanently.
No, she's talking about when they get, like, sedated when you acquire them. So she's pulling out some intense Animorphs knowledge right now.
Sedate, acquire, and leave. I'm going to hit it and quit it. Just go from dinosaur to dinosaur to dinosaur. That is my plot line in this book. How many dinosaurs can I be at once?
That is what I wouldn't even try and go prehistoric booty call.
So that's where I'm at. Just, why aren't they finding cooler dinosaurs to be?
Yeah, more dinosaurs, I say.
Well, I want to read that book.
But... I'll write it for you.
Okay, fanfic?
Yep.
Okay, that's where we're at.
Write it. Okay, so, plot-wise, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, bringing it back around, we've got half the team, or precisely all of the team, I guess, now.
We've got half the team, or precisely the entire team.
All of them.
They're all hanging out on the force field above the Mercora city. It's just the place to be right now. And this is where they actually meet the Mercora. They reveal themselves to them. They kind of make friends. The Mercora are creepy at first, but they're all right guys. They give them broccoli. So not bad.
Which they make it's almost like they're like adults who don't know how kids actually think. They make some joke about, oh, broccoli's alien. Could have guessed that. Wink, wink.
Right, yeah. The very obvious joke.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think as a kid, I never had a problem with broccoli, really.
Well, you stand alone.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, so the crab people feed them and everything, and it's great. And they devise this plan, because what else can they really do but break into the bad guy's lair, the nest, and steal a bomb from them to try and recreate this explosion, because that's their honest to God, their best plan.
Well, we get another scene of Axe not remembering something from school, but they all turn to him to explain Sario Rips.
Right, yeah.
Which, for as many Sorry Rips as exist, it's still kind of weird that they're teaching it in, like, Andalite grade school. It's like, here's how you create them, here's how you close them.
Explaining Sario Rips.
Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't remember anything, even though he's probably dealt with more Sario Rips than the entire Andalite race at this point.
He should be an expert. I find it funny, though, that when they're actually on their way to go steal the bomb, X flat out admits to everybody that he's got no freaking clue how he's going to fix the Sario Rip, or even if they can.
Yeah, they get mad at him at first, and then they're like, okay, well, we'll still steal the bomb, I guess, and set it off? Is that the plan?
Yeah, they've got no better plan. There's nothing they can do. This is like something just to kill time at this point.
Well, they do discuss just living with the Makora and eating broccoli for the rest of their lives.
Oh, yeah. Very seriously, they discuss that option.
Mm-hmm. But, no, they're all in full dinosaur morph, because their plan involves, casually walking into the base as dinosaurs.
Right, yeah. We're just going to casually stroll in there, start wrecking things.
It makes a little sense since the Nesk are, like, for some reason, incredibly protective over the dinosaurs. Like, they see them as their property. So, I mean, they're ant people. They don't really care about things walking around or stepping on them.
Ant people. It's not as good as crab people.
This is very much like a 1950s B-movie, Atomic Age, drive-in.
I'm doing crab people from South Park. So.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's morphing T-Rexes, well, aside from Tobias and Rachel. But they all lose their shit and lose themselves entirely in their morph. Especially Cassie, who just can't get a grip. She goes balls to the walls crazy and tears apart a Triceratops.
I think this is the most thoughtful scene in the book, maybe? This is the actual scene where they lose the kind of blockbuster facade and they try to say something else about Cassie. I mean, I know that's kind of her shtick, is that she's, she cares about animals, she doesn't want to hurt animals, she doesn't want to hurt anything, but knowing what the next book is, and the fact that she wants to quit the Animorphs and everything, it's pretty... What? Oh, sorry, spoilers, Liz.
Spoilers for Liz! No, I actually want to hear what Liz had to say about this, because I thought this was just, like, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Did that take you by surprise, Liz?
I mean, not really. I feel like in any series that's 874 books long, like, you're gonna have to give some characters some contradictions, and they're gonna have to deal with facing their worst fears of who they are, whatever.
Yeah, it's called Book 19.
Yeah. So it was only a matter of time before she kind of went crazy in a morph and killed something and then had to deal with the emotional repercussions.
Well, this is actually the second experience so far of that. I mean, this is the bloody, really messed up one that really messes with her. But the worst thing that's ever happened to Cassie is that they were being controlled by they were termites, and they had like a hive mind thing going on. And to get out of it, they were going to die. They were just going to live their lives as termites. Cassie actually controlled her morph a little bit because she's better at morphing than the rest. And she, like, decapitated the termite queen. And even though it's a termite, she, like, lost it. Because she wiped out, basically, that hive of termites by killing the queen.
Oh, I semi-remember that.
Yeah, it's not a very good book. But that part of it was pretty good. And so, yeah, she almost quit then. And now she's... Was it Triceratops she eats in this? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a Triceratops.
Yeah. So
and that's pretty crazy. But here, to compare and contrast here, she eats one Triceratops and freaks out. Rachel, earlier in the book, is like, well, you know what? We're hungry. Why don't we morph some dinos and go catch some food?
Yeah, well...
She actually suggests it.
Rachel and Cassie are two very different creatures. Or wait, you mean Cassie said that earlier?
No, Rachel said it.
Yeah. Well, that's their whole best friends trying to be as different as possible written-wise,
I know, Coleman. That's why I started with compare and contrast.
Well, those are good words. Good one.
Yeah, but she snaps out of it when Jake decides demorphing's the way to go here. To snap her out of it. And it works, of course. Because he's so dreamy.
Yeah, Jake talks her down, as usual.
he demorphs like instantly. It's like that, and then just winks and smiles at her, and she just snaps out of it.
It'll be a very cinematic scene of Jake as a human, this teenager, and volcanoes in the background and stuff, walking up to this T-Rex.
Like 4 or 5 T-Rexes behind him.
Yeah.
I'm Jake.
Yep, very low angle shot, It'd be pretty epic.
You make that animated and you've got a scene out of We're Back. Like, literally.
No, you put that on the
That's
cover.
True.
Jake standing there with T-Rexes in the back.
Yeah, did you ever see the cartoon We're Back, where the dinosaurs are made smart and brought to Manila? Yeah, that scene exists in that. One of the kids walks up to one of the dinosaurs, the T-Rex.
Crazy.
What?
It's gone crazy and has to, like, talk him into being John Goodman again.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah, that movie really scarred me.
I wonder if Applegate was a We're Back fan.
It's possible. I wouldn't doubt it.
Anyway, so they actually get into the base, the Nesk base.
Oh yeah, and they just waltz right in.
Yeah, and they their big plan is, okay, distraction, as usual. We're going to wreck the base, and somebody go find a bomb, specifically Axe, because no one else knows what they're looking for.
Go find something that looks like a bomb.
Yeah, there's so many ways this could go wrong.
Well, yeah, especially since they're immediately found out, because these alien Nesk guys have Thoughtspeak reading technology, so they can tell when people are Thoughtspeaking, but they can't detect where it's coming from.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I didn't remember that's what gave them away. They started Thoughtspeaking to each other.
Yeah. Just talking to each other blew their cover. But I don't know why they're surprised by that, because the Nesk, when Tobias and Rachel initially met him, also Thoughtspeaked. So maybe they could have given Axe a little heads up or something.
Yeah, speak up, Tobias and Rachel. Don't give out vital information that'll save our lives or anything.
Well, everyone kind of fights the Nesk, and Axe manages to grab the explosive really quick, and they get out of there, and they're picked up by the Mercora in their spaceship. And,
and they head back to their little valley, their little force field city, and the
Mercora HQ, as I call it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Fondly referred to it as.
And the Mercora are super excited. They're pumped because the Nesk are, not only did they actually succeed in some kind of aggression towards the Nesk and all of that, and they Animorphs got their bomb, so mission success. But the Nesk are gone. They're heading out. They're getting in their spaceships and leaving the planet, which is what the Mercora wanted the whole time.
Yeah, it's like a very Futurama-esque victory moment. We've won! The bad guys are leaving!
Oh, wait.
No, as they quickly discover, the Nesk have deflected this comet to hit the planet. Gasp. I never saw it coming.
No, I honestly didn't see that coming. I mean, I knew that the comet was going to be involved, or I thought they were going to set off the nuclear device in low Earth orbit and accidentally blow up the Earth or something. But
well, I just assumed that the comet was always heading towards Earth.
And Axe was wrong?
Yeah, why? He says it's moving away from Earth, right?
Yeah, he's the one who tells them that it's not, that's their only information on the comet, is that it's, Axe says he can project it, just with his eyes.
Right. Well, even just me being me and knowing that, the comet hits Earth, I just had always assumed the comet is going to hit Earth. So it really wasn't a surprise to me, and I didn't really put much thought into it when they say the Nesk have deflected this comet, so now it is going to hit the Earth.
Yeah. And what does it say specifically in the book here about Tobias? He kind of turns to Axe, and it says a specific line.
There's a moment of silence where, Axe wasn't able to respond to people questioning him because Tobias was asking him something, and then Axe asks them to give him a couple of minutes, and this is when everybody heads out and flees.
Well, yeah, the Mercora are like, hey, they diverted this comet. I know you guys want to get home, but give us the bomb, and we can save the planet. We can save, our valley, the dinosaurs, everything from this comet. They're just going to take the nuclear device up to the comet and blow it away, because they don't have any bombs or anything, obviously. So obviously there's the discussion between the Animorphs, and they all decide, hey, we're going to help them. These are peace-loving, great crab people, and we're going to help them out. So they give up their bomb and their only trip home, and that's when you have the private messaging between Axe and Tobias. And after the Makora take off and they start heading up to the comet, that's when Tobias turns to everybody and is like, we need to GTFO right now.
Yeah. Everyone, bird morph now! And don't ask questions. and everybody is super pissed at him for seemingly, sending these Makora to die.
Oh yeah, the rest of the Animorphs are furious, especially Jake, because he didn't get to make the decision.
Oh yeah, he's stripped of his leader position after being tested the living hell out of over the last couple of books.
Funny shift. I don't know if it's just because Tobias is in a world he understands more with dinosaurs and it being his childhood and everything, but it's funny how Tobias really takes the lead in this book over Jake, over everybody.
Well, yeah, it was a really interesting choice to make Tobias the one who's knowledgeable in dinosaurs. I mean, they could have given it to Marco and made him a slightly more interesting character, but...
Well, I thought this was interesting because, not that long ago, Jake was stopping, a couple 11-year-old bullies from, flushing Tobias's head down the toilet. So, now you got Tobias wiping out races of beings and all the dinosaurs.
Well, it's just something that happens in Animorphs books.
Yeah. Now, when we were originally reading this book, I remember Liz saying that she wasn't thrilled about the fact that the Animorphs are responsible for wiping out the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I think you did. Did you not?
I said that?
How do you feel about
How do you really
the
feel?
twist that Animorphs are the reasons humans exist?
I thought it was
is that too over the top? Is that...
Well, I thought it was backwards logic that it depends on your definition of time travel. But if I remember correctly, their justification is, well, we have to kill these aliens because we exist. But they exist because they killed the aliens.
It's a paradoxal.
Yeah, so why
we
don't
here
you
at
just
Thoughtspeak
rewrite
don't
history?
believe in paradoxes. No, you're right. I mean, it's the whole...
I choose to believe that they did nothing.
Really? What do you mean?
I think that comet would have hit Earth no matter what. Or, let's not forget, like Cassie pointed out, Tobias can't be certain that that's the comet that hit Earth, for sure. Mm-hmm. Maybe Axe was right, and that one was the one that circumnavigated Earth. Maybe it was just gonna go around the Earth a couple of times. Maybe it was already caught in the gravity, but it had to circle around.
So you're saying Kay Applegate is just a douchebag and wanted to heap massive amounts of guilt for killing off all these species and aliens and races and everything on these children, and you don't even think it was worth it?
I just think it was a neat little twist to throw in there at the end.
I think that sounds like Kay Applegate straight up. I think that's her shtick.
That could be it too, yeah. Let's see. No, Tobias, he pretty much lays out exactly why the Makora, along with every single dinosaur, had to die. And they fly around for a good long while, watching the comet come closer to Earth and talking about their feelings and discussing things. And that's when they just fly out to sea and morph dolphin again because they've got no idea what they should be doing besides maybe recreating the events of that first Saria rip.
So I have a question.
Go for it.
If they can't morph dinosaur when they come back, why can they morph animals that aren't evolved yet?
My guess is because I think it has to do with they leave their original bodies, not necessarily in the present, but in space-time. So the bodies that they habitate when they're back in time are not their real bodies. But they still have all the DNA that they've collected at that point. That's my guess. I had to try and make sense of it.
That didn't make much sense to me. But
I mean, if
well, it didn't make much sense to me either, and I said it.
If Z-space is this other dimension, Z-space?
Yeah.
If this is this other dimension where all their matter is stored or whatever when they're in morph, why is it restricted to Earth time?
yeah, it shouldn't be.
So why would evolution and...
It might just be because that's where
But it
they're
doesn't
at.
matter for Axe. It doesn't?
I don't know. If we ever get Applegate on the show, we are... Boy,
I mean, she said in the
we're gonna
past
write
that
some
she
tough
doesn't.
ones.
She said in the past that she doesn't have a reason for it. You know, she
Just felt like making it that
she's
way.
interviewed. She wanted to write a book about dinosaurs, but she didn't want to change the main series to include dinosaurs. I chalk it up, just like everything. I chalk it up to the Limist. He knew that the war with the Yeerks wouldn't go the correct way if they had these T-Rex morphs running around. So, you know, maybe Rachel wouldn't have died. Maybe 100 other things wouldn't have happened the right way if they had these
Sure,
overpowered
there you
morphs.
go. That's the simple explanation. Elemist fixes it all. And that's exactly why Applegate wrote it.
Exactly.
So as they're swimming around in dolphin morph, Comet falls, undoes the Sario Rip as well as, destroying the world, and sends everybody back into time.
Back to the future, one might say.
Back to the Future Part 2. That's right. Which is, we get it like in chapter and a half roundup of everybody going home and talking about their feelings and stuff. And that's the end.
Yeah, it wraps up almost as quickly as it starts.
It really does. As soon as they're back home, it's just like, and we're home now. That's it. We can't
Hey, I
morph.
tried to morph T-Rex. Did you try to morph T-Rex? Yeah, it didn't work. Okay, see you later.
I do like, though, how they point out at the very end. They say, were we always there? I mean, were we meant to be there to do what we did? Was everything supposed to happen a different way? Should this planet be ruled by the Mercura today or the Nesk? Should there still be dinosaurs stomping around? Did we make it all right or did we mess it all up? They have no idea. We don't have any idea. And that's the way it should be.
You know what? But I got to see some dinosaurs, some crab people, found out where broccoli came from. At the end of the day, that's a pretty good book.
It's a good day here on the Thoughtspeak podcast.
Yeah. So you want to jump into our reviews?
We may as well. I mean, yeah, there's not much else to do here.
Wondering which roller coaster has the highest top speed, or what exhibit is our guide's favorite in the park? Just ask them. They love to share their opinions and critical analysis to help you better plan your day.
Okay, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first, sure. We'll save Liz for last, okay?
Okay.
That sounds good. So I don't necessarily have a whole heck of a lot to say about this book. It's not an overall intelligent book. The whole inciting incident and the climax really doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense when you stop to think about it and try to apply logic. But that's not why we read these books, so it's not that big of a deterrent for me. I enjoyed the book. I had a lot of fun. It is a fun book, and all the characters are in full force of their specific stereotypes. Whatever we got. I think Liz said it best. Rachel's overly aggressive. Cassie's overly humanistic. Jake is the overly macho leader. Marco's overly funny. It's everyone's doing their tropes, and it works. Tobias in particular got to shine a little bit more, and it actually made me like him a lot more as a character. So that's good. There's still a lot of growth potential for Tobias as well. So that's probably why he's one of the more interesting characters so far. So that's about it. It's a entertaining book. We got to see some dinosaurs, but don't expect anything too intelligent to come out of this. I think it is a solid 3. Average book. 3 out of 5 dinosaurs.
3 out of 5 dinosaurs. Okay. So, leading up to this book, this is one of the books I was excited about. Really excited about. As a kid, this was, out of all the Animorphs books, this is my jam. Megamorphs #2, In the Time of Dinosaurs. And I wasn't disappointed reading the book, but after reading not the last couple, but a few of the ones recently that have been, I thought, above quality of what, you should expect from a middle school book series. Like, they were really catching their stride. There was some really thoughtful, really intelligent writing in some of the last few books we've talked about. And even in the last Megamorphs book, which I never really liked that much or thought that much about until after we reviewed it again, that was actually a really, really well-written book besides some of the, amnesia tropes and things like that. So to come into this one and just remember how much I liked it because there were dinosaurs in it and they morphed dinosaurs and that was cool, it's really disappointing how simple it is and how kind of meandering the plot is and how it doesn't go into... It doesn't feel like the Animorphs characters that we've gotten to know and have become more real as characters. It goes back into those tropes. Rachel's going to jump into battle and Marco's going to tell a joke. So, yeah, just kind of disappointed by the book. I mean, I really hope the David trilogy isn't like this because
I don't think it will.
No, it won't be. But maybe this is just they're treating these books like something they can write a little quicker. Put more action scenes in. I know that's what the Megamorphs are, but even the Megamorphs book after this is really, really intelligently written. I know that, and I remember that. And, yeah, just kind of disappointed that this isn't what I remembered it being, and this was definitely one of my favorite Animorphs books that I read over and over. So, I think I'm going to... I was going into this with a 4 or a 5 in mind. I think I'm going to drop it, lower than even you. I think I'm going to go 2 out of 5 Megamorphs, which I would have liked to have seen in this book. I think that would have improved it as well.
Really? You think that...
Just all Makoras. All of them.
You know what? They could have preserved the species, maybe, if they had got to, keep the morphs at the end.
Yeah, they morph Makoras, they go back to present day, and they start mating. Bring back the race.
I want that book.
I don't.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, just to clarify, I rate this as an adult reading the book, right?
Oh,
yes.
Of course.
Okay. Not as oh yeah, this is great for kids.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't we have Nate do 2 reviews? One as a geek and one as a... I can't remember.
No, we did do something weird with him, but I don't want to do that. I want her to review it as a 25-year-old woman reviewing an
honest opinion.
Animorphs book.
Okay. So we'll start off with the cons. There weren't Stegosauruses, which is the best dinosaur. So that knocks it down. I did think it was kind of convenient how sometimes they didn't realize they could morph dinosaurs, and then sometimes they realized they could do this really fast. It's kind of inconsistent.
I know all about convenience.
Yeah. Deus Ex Machina or something, if I remember the term correctly. That's been really fun trying to spell that in text messages to Coleman.
Yeah.
But what else was I saying? It felt kind of irrelevant to the series as I understand it. This book could have not happened.
Oh, totally.
And nothing would have changed, which I guess is the reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen. It's not like they talk about it again.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you morph dinosaurs, you might want to make that a thing.
Yeah.
I think Coleman and I would talk about it every day of our lives. Dude, you remember that time we were T-Rexes? Yeah, it was 7 years ago. I know!
Those were the good days. Pros, I did from an outsider perspective, I liked that they played into their tropes. Because that was recognizable for me, not knowing the intricacies of their characters so much. I could point out oh, Marco made a joke. Yeah, that's what he does. And it was a familiarity that I didn't think I'd have. I also like that there were obscure dinosaurs. It wasn't all T-Rex and Velociraptors. But as an adult, I'm going to go ahead and say that it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Good as I thought it would be. It was disappointing in some aspects and kind of surprising in some aspects, so I'm going to have to give it 3 out of 5 Deinonychuses hang gliding on some pteranodons.
Nice.
Thanks.
Her rating was more original than you this week, Mitch.
Yeah, because I mean, I generally enjoy a good Animorphs story. It takes a lot for me to hate one of these things. I think you know that.
Yeah, and I wonder if I wasn't so building it up, if I would have given it a higher score. But I just don't think, I mean, I don't like when they pander. And I think one of the reasons we are doing a podcast of this is because we remember the series fondly, because a good chunk of the series, especially the ending, the beginning, some books in the middle, are well-written books. They're good books. They're not written for kids. They don't pander to kids. And I think this book did a lot of pandering.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. But, that's kind of what we have come to expect from the Megamorphs thus far. I think the third one, they really change up the style and the thinking with the Megamorphs.
And the fourth one's incredibly dark and messed up.
Yeah, the third and fourth are almost not even comparable to the first and second Megamorphs. So I think we've got stuff to look forward to, is what I'm saying.
I just wish this one would have held up to how I remembered it.
Somebody totally called this, by the way, in the comments, either on Facebook or Reddit. Somebody commented how they predicted one of us was going to be disappointed.
Yep, it's me.
I kind of figured it'd be you too, actually.
Yeah. But, well, yeah, that wraps it up. I mean, not as long as our other Megamorphs episode, which is probably for the best.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, it's 3 hours talking about the Underlight Chronicles. I think I'm surprised I didn't have to wear a diaper.
Ew.
Are there any emails to read?
No. We did get one email, but it was just saying we're awesome and that we should keep doing it and we need to put out episodes quicker.
Oh, well, you know what? We have gotten more reviews and ratings on iTunes, which are fantastic. They help the show grow. Mm-hmm. Though I do not appreciate the 4-star reviews we've been getting lately. We got 2 4-star reviews.
We actually got a third one that you don't know about.
Oh, did we?
But calm down. 4 stars out of 5. That's still a great review. We're not going to bag people for that. We have to own up to the fact that, I might say weekly podcast every time at the opening of the show. We're not a weekly podcast.
No, I know.
Do you want me? I can guilt trip everyone that's blaming you for that.
Nobody's blaming you for that.
Lately, I had my gallbladder taken out. I was sick, and I had surgery, and Coleman had to take some time off to take care of me.
These are real tears right now.
I'm sorry the podcast suffered on my behalf, everyone.
Hey, I was
so
sick
sorry.
Too. Actually, the last time we canceled was because because I canceled.
Yeah, it's true. No, I mean, my only hope is that, we have people listening right now. They're listening week to week, looking to see if episodes pop up. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome for listening to us and spending some time on us and everything. I just want to make sure that each episode ends up pretty good and is fun to listen to for our future fans who are just going to be going through the archives, straight 1 through 54 with all the Chronicles books and everything. I want to make sure that we, finish it up, and that might take a while.
If we're not releasing fast enough for you, just put it off for a year, and then you'll have tons of episodes to go through.
You'll have 3 more episodes to listen to.
Hopefully not. We'll try to put out at least one a month jeez.
Yeah. But, I care more about our archives than I do. Because you look at, the website like Cinnamon Buns, the reviews of all the Animorphs books. Most people are finding that now when all the reviews are written and they don't even do them anymore and, laughing at them and having a good time. So,
yeah, people are still talking about them online.
And most of my favorite podcasts are ones that already are like 100 episodes deep and I go back and find, the topic that I want to listen to. So.
Well, I think this is going to be a podcast that sits on the internet for quite a while and gains traction as the series may come back into popularity sometime in the future. Who knows? I sure hope so. And if it does, we'll be even more popular then. If you're listening to this podcast in 2020 and things have changed, please send me an email. Well, anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah, I think we should wrap it up. This is...
We're discussing iTunes reviews and ratings. We love them. Please give them to us. Please!
Yeah, or just, hit us up on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, or our website, Thoughtspeakcast.com.
If you haven't abandoned Facebook yet.
We haven't. Our Twitter's strong. Our Twitter's gotten like 15 followers since our last episode.
I think but total.
Nope.
Total. We've got 15 total.
We're like at 120, Liz.
Whoa.
On Twitter, that's a big deal.
A lot of Twitter followers as well lately, so you might as well catch up with me. I am Mitchell Olson.
Yeah, go check him out. He's pretty
Check
important.
me out. I tweet about my books sometimes.
Yeah. And so, yeah, there's a lot of ways to connect with us. We still, every time we post anything on Reddit, I really appreciate, I posted, I don't know if you saw this, but on the Animorphs subreddit, I posted like...
your artwork.
Yeah, like 12 or 13 pieces of the art I've been making for each episode. People had a lot of good things to say. I had some requests for wallpapers and stuff that I completely ignored and haven't done yet.
Oh, geez, you're terrible.
but you know, I appreciated the good talk, and that's something that I've had a lot of fun doing. You know, getting into graphic design a little bit more and making that each week. And I really like the one that turned out for this one, Megamorphs number 2. I had fun making that.
Yeah, looks good, man.
Mm-hmm. I had help because my amazing, beautiful girlfriend, who's on this episode right now, got me a drawing tablet, like a digital art drawing tablet.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
One of the Wacom's. So it's really fun. I love it. I'm going to be practicing with it and getting better. And
making even cooler artwork. He's thinking butterflies.
There's going to be butterflies.
She also got him a t-shirt that has Han Solo and Carbonite on it.
Well, it's not Han Solo. It's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's just one. She couldn't wait until my birthday, which is next week, fans. If you want to send anything in, money.
Come to think of it, it's
April 8th.
By the time our next episode, or by the time this is online, it'll probably be our birthdays, our collective birthdays. We might as well get that out of the way.
Yeah, so, send your gifts or...
April 8th and April 9th.
Yep. Send whatever you want.
And mine, respectively.
Yeah.
He's a day older.
I'm a day older. Day wiser.
Just one.
So, okay, let's actually wrap it up now.
Let's wrap it up. From us here at Thoughtspeak to you at home.
From the world headquarters.
Thank you for listening to a review of In the Time of Dinosaurs. I am Mitchell.
And I'm Coleman.
And I'm Liz.
Bam! That's the Trinity, baby. We're done. See you next week.
Have a good one.
Bye.
On behalf of everyone here at the Gardens, we hope you've enjoyed your stay and welcome you to come and see us again soon. Or, as they say on the Serengeti, Tafadali emtu, kupata jambo hilienje ya kichwa yangu.